I actually need to black out my screen, make sure I closed all that shit. That is not something I want to show on stream, that's for sure.
Bank account numbers,
Fucking bank accounts, statements, yeah, taxes. Let me close some stuff.
Talking about a rug.
Yeah, really. Alright, I think we're good. Reminds me of that day way back when I first started streaming. I think I was streaming for like a few months. I had like no viewers. And I went to order a pizza while I was streaming. And I ordered a pizza, put in my credit card number, my address, everything. And I left it on the stream, just sitting there for like hours. And then I got back, and I get back, and the first thing I see on my screen is my credit card and my address. I'm like, holy shit, dude, let me delete this VOD as fast as possible. Thank God I only had like one viewer, and it was me, literally. It was like you in Discord. What were you ordering, Supreme or something?
Yeah, with my debit card.
Yeah. No, Rhino. They might add it though. It's a new community. They might add that stuff later on. I'm not too worried about it either way though. Oh, I know, John. If I wasn't someone who like went out and tried to learn that shit myself, I would have got rugged completely. It's funny, the trade ideas guy sent me a thing. He said like 1 through 5, these are the things that you have to say no to or you're considered a professional. And I was like, okay, 1 through 4, no. 5, maybe. And then he sent me a very fast reply. And then I replied right to that. And I was like, okay, if I stop doing this, can I not be considered a professional? And then he won't respond now. Fucking irritating. If you guys are wondering why there's no scanner stream today, I'm being rugged by trade ideas, so my account is locked right now.
Dude, they love locking your shit down, dude.
I'm getting rugged, dude. It's fucking year of the rug. I need to stop saying the word. I think I'm manifesting it at this point. It's like that fucking dump it guy.
C's brought that guy to existence.
Yeah. You guys are just coming in. Pretty damn bullish day. SPY filled the gap. Qs filled the gap. IWM filled. Dow Jones. It filled if you consider the block trade. If you don't consider the block trade, it has not filled just yet. Going back to all the stuff we talked about on stream and on Twitter, SPY has held the 50-day moving average, which is the red line here. It has held the 50 perfectly. If we go to ES, you can see like the last few times. Let me hide everything else. The last few times that we have tested the 50, it has bounced. Before today, it had 12 tests of the 50 since COVID low. 10 of those 12 tests were bullish. So you had about an 83% chance based on the last 12 signals that you would bounce bullishly. And today was a very bullish bounce. So now it's 11 out of 13 have been bullish. Another thing that I mentioned was typically price does not like to consolidate on the 50. It's typically a very strong failure or a very strong recovery. So with this bounce, historically, the 10 bounces that occurred did lead to an all-time high. So now we would assume that this 11th bounce would lead to an all-time high, would lead you above 4,400. Now, what I was saying in Discord yesterday, I also mentioned this on stream. The best way for them to hurt as many people as possible would be to do what they did today. Very beautiful bounce. So everyone is jumping in and anticipating all-time high. Loading up on calls and whatnot, right? Then they just nuke it tomorrow. So to be honest, I would probably wait for tomorrow to get that final confirmation. But typically Wednesdays are the most bullish day of the year. Or sorry, most bullish day of the week. That dates back like 50 plus years. Wednesday is typically the most bullish. So it might not happen Wednesday, but later this week it could happen. But that's just like a hypothesis, right? Ignore that, and we're bullish right now. We are definitely bullish. It's bouncing off support, bouncing off the 50, bouncing off VWAP, bouncing off the 618, bouncing off the trend line, bouncing off the previous high. Almost everything lined up with that level being very bullish. So for right now, I would not be bearish. I would just be bullish. But just have that in the back of your head that the best way for them to nuke it would be to do exactly what they're doing right now. But like I said, it's still pretty bullish. Going back to like shorter time frames, a couple of things that you guys could have looked at to kind of anticipate this move up if you guys did miss this move. We have today's range, obviously, was created pretty early, and then we broke out of that range right away. So you had the initial range, VWAP was very strong, we broke the range right away, and we continued upwards. So that was definitely a very bullish case there. But even before that, we could have looked at yesterday's range, which I'll go ahead and delete all these for now. We'll bring them back. But we can grab yesterday's range. So we take this here. So this would be the range of yesterday. And then we can see that we opened up. We kind of failed it a little bit for the first like 10 minutes. It failed that POC. But then we had some very strong momentum come in. We broke that POC. And then we broke the range high. So this was very, very bullish. The first 10 minutes, a little sketchy, a little neutral. 5 minutes after that, extremely bullish, and then very, very bullish. So these were your first two warnings that you were going to be very bullish today. Even before that, if you guys go back to something I talked about a lot, is when you have a nasty sell-off on any of the indexes, ES, NASDAQ, whatever, you can take an anchored VWAP from the pre-market session on the 30-minute and the 1 hour, and when that anchor VWAP starts to flatten out or go back up or like start ascending, that is when the downtrend is over, right? So VWAP was very negative this entire way down, and then you had that strong close yesterday, broke above VWAP, so that was your first sign that the bottom was happening. And then VWAP started to flatten out very heavily when we were consolidating here. And then you had that very strong open today, and then the VWAP started to climb. So that was the first sign that this down move is over. So you have that sign. You have the range break of yesterday. And then we have the range break of today. So we could do the same thing here. This would give you today's range. And then once we started to break out of that, after the first hour of the day, we've been straight up the entire time. And how you would have traded this, I mentioned it in the Discord, if you guys read the analysis. You just look for the resistance That's like the last resistance before you start entering the gap. And then you just target the entire gap fill, right? So yesterday, what level did I pick? I said, let's see, I said bullish above 427. So that would have been yesterday's range high. So once you break 427, you're looking for the 431 gap fill target. And those lottos paid over 100%. I think close to 200%, maybe even more if we look at them now, because price is just going straight up. And then same thing for Qs. You're looking at a level above 355.50, so that would be also the range high. And then you would be targeting the gap fill, which would be the 358 level. Those ran over 200%. So that's how you would have traded that. Now, not looking back in hindsight and looking at what we're kind of seeing right now, as long as this range high or even, where's VWAP here? As long as VWAP is held around 430, let's say, you're still very bullish. I don't believe we have any pivots above us. Let's take a look. No daily, no 4 hour, no 1 hour. How'd that 3 hour pivot hold? Yeah, that 3 hour pivot was literally the bottom. Like to the tick. That's clean. So I don't see any major resistance above us, to be honest. There's no pivots on the main time frames that I like to look for. You got a lot of pivots on the lower time frames, like the 15-minute. But the higher time frames, there's nothing really in your way. Couple of 30-minute levels you want to watch out for. Looks like most of the pivots were acting as support, though, so that's good. Looks like there was a 4 hour pivot there as well. Yeah, there was. If you extend this 4 hour pivot here, that was the bottom. So always watch out for those higher time frame pivots. And right now I don't see any above us. Let's check Qs. No daily on Qs. 4 hour. Okay, we have a 4 hour pivot coming up, so watch out for that. There's a 4 hour pivot at like 361. That's going to be some resistance. Let's see. 1 hour, nothing. 30-minute. We're actually hitting a 30-minute pivot right now, so watch out for that. Around 360. And then we have some pivots around like 361.50 and then 365. 15-minute. Yeah, kind of the same area. A little bit of resistance up here. So watch out for those levels. Once you get above that level, though, there's really not much above you. Except for that 4 hour pivot. Once you get above that, then there really is nothing above you. Actually, look at IWM. This is a little scary on IWM. The daily has completely bounced right back into that pivot, and we're failing it to the penny almost. So until IWM can get back above that daily pivot, I would be a little sketched out on this one. Is anybody typing in chat, by the way? I don't see any messages. I think my chat's not working. You guys might just be quiet today. But the daily has the only pivot. There's no weekly. 4 hour has a couple above us, like 222 and 224. Let's see, 1 hour, same area, 224, 229. We're actually getting above a lot of the pivots right here at 217. So that's pretty good. But I would definitely watch out for that. That's a big level on the daily. I'm going to post that in the analysis channel. Oh, I see you guys. You guys are just being quiet today. Going on Portuguese and then Jonathan. I see you guys. Going back to like the sector analysis. A lot of the sectors are recovering very nicely. SMH bouncing off fib support. XLE, the energy sector, came right down to that level we talked about. A strong bounce there. Gold, not so much. Financials, nice recovery. The tech sector, nice recovery, almost getting back into that trend. Communications got back into the trend. Real estate looking really good. Completely, almost put in an all-time high today. I think that's all-time high. Yeah, pretty much. XLU struggling a little bit. Vanguard Materials recovering, but still below that range low, so a little weak. Infrastructure, nice recovery. Healthcare, nice recovery as well. Myrna had a really big move today, but then it topped out. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Retail sector, nice recovery. Consumer discretionary did well as well. FANG, nice recovery, filled the local gap. So most sectors are doing very well. Everything on our watch list is green today too. Most of these COVID companies are doing very well that we talked about yesterday. DocuSign breaking out, up 5% today. DoorDash doing really well. That looks like it's going to go for a breakout very soon. Zoom bounced off that level beautifully. Zoom is definitely one to watch here. That is a beautiful past two candles. Very, very clean.
Fire.
Yeah, those candles are beautiful. Fiverr, nice day. 3M, nice day. Chegg, doing well. Pinterest, doing well. Shopify, definitely one to watch. Shopify is huge, especially with COVID fears. Teladoc breaking that downtrend. So we talked about Teladoc. If it could break that downtrend, it looked really good. So watch that. Etsy also breaking the downtrend. So these all look really, really good. Myrna, you opened up huge today. I think it was up like 9%, 10%. And then you actually went red on the day. Not too sure why. I didn't see any news come out. They are getting included into the S&P, I believe, tomorrow or later this week. So that's going to be huge. But very, very toppy, very extended. Most likely going to pull back. What else do we have here? Bitcoin, for you Bitcoin guys. This is the moment of truth. You have that retest of the range low. And if it can hold this level, this could be a huge bounce. This could be the level that sends it back to like 35 to 40K. But if it loses this level, this could be the move that sends it all the way down to 20K. So your risk to reward is quite high. Meaning they're both high, not like the ratio is high. Your risk is very high and your reward is very high. So unless you're ready for a very, very big move, I would not be trading here. But yeah, so if you break like 29, you do have some pivots below you. Depending on what exchange you're using, there's some pivots at 24, some at like 16, some at 20. It all depends on what broker you're looking at. I believe, where's the one on BitMEX? This one right here, the 24,000. BitMEX pivots are usually very strong, so watch out for that level. But like JMA said, I think you go back to retest your previous high around 20,000. I'm still all out of Bitcoin. I'm still holding BNB and FTT, but I haven't even opened that broker in a long time. They're just like little bags that I'm holding. I don't have any Bitcoin. I sold all of my Bitcoin, if you guys remember on stream, 56.6. My problem was I didn't short Bitcoin. We should have shorted Bitcoin in hindsight. But we sold all of our Bitcoin right up here because it was bouncing, but it was not able to break that very key resistance. So we've been all out of Bitcoin for some time. And I am going to get back in pretty soon because you're already down, let's see. You're down almost 50% from where I sold everything. So I could buy back here and it could keep going down and I'd still be happy. I saved myself a 50% loss. But I'd be much more inclined to buy around like 24 to 20,000. That would be a beautiful area to buy long term. Crypto has me down bad. Yeah, I've been out tuned. I've been out for a while. It's just not in the it doesn't have the proper conditions to really be throwing a lot of money at it. What's going on Hardwick, TJ or TK? Good to see you guys. Just hard being a trader and a holder. Hard to separate the mindset. Yeah, it is. You have to have multiple accounts really if you want to do that. It's hard to have them in the same account. You have to have an account for investing, say like Coinbase, where you just like throw money at Bitcoin and you hold on to it, and then you just liquidate it when you're ready to sell. You know what I mean? And then you have your trading account, which is like typically on a margin exchange, like FTX or BIMX or whatever else, Binance. Yeah, it was a really nice day today, Hardwick. Not bad. Thoughts on Tesla? I haven't taken a look at Tesla today. Let's see. So it bounced right off our support level at 628. I said it could get back to 666 as long as you hold that level. So daily pivot once again. It's just being a magnet for price. So probably will get 666. And then if you break that, you should be 689 pretty easily. Oh yeah, Ford looks clean. He's talking about the Dragonfly on Ford. That's also an abandoned baby. Typically abandoned babies are dojis, but this would be the same thing. It's just a hammer. He said, I have a ledger for my long term and Coinbase Pro for alts. My mistake was not taking profit on my alts. I knew what to do next time. I know what to do next time. Yeah, dude, do not hold alts. That is something you will learn if you trade crypto. If Bitcoin does what it's been doing for the past few months, you do not hold alts. Don't let people fucking talk you into holding alts. Don't fall for that stupid bull market mentality where they're just going to keep going back up. When Bitcoin bleeds like this, your alts will go down 60 to 80% every single time. Candle analysis still works on Dixie, but it is a heavily fundamentally driven thing, like current ticker, I guess you would say. So it is hard to do the same technical analysis. It's not exactly a tweezer because tweezers are you normally want them to be relatively the same. This one is a lot higher, so I wouldn't call that a tweezer. Hey, G, I appreciate that, man. Try my best. Tooney said, I held some alts that I think will still exist after the dumpage, but I cut losses, so I have a bag to throw in once the market looks good again. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with holding like little bags, but you'll soon come to realize that if you just cut it when everything starts turning to shit, you can pick back up that same bag for the same amount of money, but much more coins. You know what I mean? Like, if you have $1,000 in a bag and it starts nuking, you could pull your money out. That thing drops like 50%. You could pick up double the coins. You know what I mean? As far as call flow goes today, guys, there wasn't really. Let me actually make sure I have these all situated. There wasn't a whole lot of unusual stuff that came in today. Like, biggest orders today were IMAX. This was actually a decently unusual. This was a leap for 2023 for the $20 calls on January 20th, 2023. So that was highly unusual. The chart is pretty dog shit, to be honest. They're basically just trying to buy the dip, which is what it looks like. It's just they're buying after a massive sell off. It's down 6, then 7.5, then 15.5. So it's lost what, like 20%? Yeah, 30% in the past 3 days. So they're just buying the dip on this, buying leaps. It's not a bad idea, to be honest.
What?
On IMAX. They bought, let me see. They bought the January 20th, 2023 $20 calls, a lot of 20s. For 1.6 million. As far as leaps go, it's not a terrible play. I'll post it in the Cheddar Flow channel. And then besides that, we had a lot of SPY and Qs come in. Nothing too crazy. FCX, we had some calls come in for September. Those were a little bit in the money, so a little bit unusual on those. FCX September 17th, $30 calls. They traded them when they were at $33, so or when the stock was at $33. So they traded them a little bit in the money. And he's doing pretty good on those right now so far. CCL had some calls come in. I think it was mainly because of the good news on Royal Caribbean. They're opening back up their cruises in Alaska. They also said they're going to open up more cruises in, I believe they said August or September. So they're trying to open that stuff back up. But with all the COVID fears going on, I don't think that's going to last. So I'd watch out for that. You had some more Myrna calls come in, $400 strike for the 30th of July, and then the 20th of August for the 430s. Besides that, everything else was pretty standard. Repeat call flow on snow. 267.50s for Friday, actually. Those were a little unusual. And then for lottos, we had a few lottos come in, but they were all really small. There's nothing really big here. So nothing really caught my eye on these. Had a bunch of weeklies come in, but once again, not too big size on these either. The biggest one of all of them was Uber. $46 calls for August 6th. Everything else was pretty small. What's going on, Mucky? Looks like SPY's getting a little toppy. Maybe pull back to VWAP. Noro had a nice run today. Let's take a look. Oh, yeah. I'd say so. 200%. Yeah, pretty nice run. Let me guess, they had like FDA news or something? I'm guessing it's a biofarm. Those are the only companies that move like that. Typically biofarm, and then they get FDA news. It's below the dog shit category. You have dog shit, then you have biofarm. And then you have silver below that. How'd the yields do today? The yields are actually up today. Oh, look at where they're bouncing. So we talked about this. I told you guys if it lost 133, it was most likely going to go down to 118. So you went down to 118. It gave you a nice little wick actually down to 112. And we bounced all the way back up. So we're still holding that 118. This is a little dangerous here for tech. Because if the yields start pumping here and the bonds start nuking, big tech is going to most likely consolidate or pull back a little bit. But then again, we also have tech earnings coming up, so watch out for Netflix earnings today. And I'm not sure when the other ones are. Let's take a look. Microsoft is July 27th, according to TradingView. Same thing for Apple. July 28th for Facebook. 29th for Amazon. And then 26th for Tesla. So they're all coming up pretty soon. Netflix being the soonest, the earliest. What do you guys think today? You guys think Netflix beats earnings?
What did they do on their last earnings?
I think they beat, but they went down. Yeah, they beat and they nuked. They beat by 23% and went down 10%.
Disgusting.
That's horrible, dude. That's terrible. Hey, G, you said, no, really, I'm already 1 year into crypto, but still a noob. But a couple of weeks ago, when I saw one of your beginner videos, the one about swing failure patterns, I had for the first time an aha moment about TA. Nice, man. He said, since then, I watched all your beginner videos, and I'm already 300% up on my account. I humbly thank you. I really appreciate you. Hey, no problem, man. I'm glad you can make some money. 300%, dude. You must be trading with some leverage. Mucky said, lovely 3-day pullback on the Nas. What are you talking about? NASDAQ? Which one of those videos do you think helped you the most, G? Looking a little toppy on SPY here. See if it loses this little local support. A lot of support lining up on the moving averages around 431, 431.50. Hits has been killing me today for some reason. IWM, nice climb here into the close. Got about 13 minutes left, starting to climb. You said the doji one is awesome. The doji support and resistance one, yeah. Yeah, that's huge on crypto. That's a system that works very, very well in crypto. Very similar to trading order blocks, which are very useful in crypto as well. That's probably where I made most of my money on crypto, is trading 1 hour, those 1 hour doji levels. Me and Sticky used to trade that shit all the time. Bitcoin is just slowly leaking, man. You haven't had a capitulation event in a long time, too, which is very scary. That's why I was saying, like, if you guys are looking to buy this dip, you got to be careful, because there has not been a liquidation event. Really, there's a small one here, but this was the big one. So there's a lot of people that probably have their stops down here. If it starts to lose this level, it's going to be bloody. You said you started trading some swing failure patterns mixed in with fibs and volume profile, and you check dojis on higher time frames for support and resistance. Nice, man. Yeah, that's clean. What's going on, Nate? Yes.
Where's Poncho at?
He's actually not here today. What was I gonna say? I lost it.
Packed in like pigs.
Oh, the swing failure patterns. They actually work. They work very well on Bitcoin. You got a lot of wicks that kind of like break through support, and they nuke a lot of levels. They liquidate a lot of people, but then they come all the way back and close above that level. Toon said, I'm not even going to think about buying Bitcoin until 27 to 24K. That's not a bad area, man. I honestly think if you have like a two to 3 year time horizon, or even longer, buying anything below 30K is safe. If you have a shorter time horizon, you probably want to get the best entry possible, but for longer term guys, anything below 30K, I think you're gonna make money on that long term. G said the 4 hour ones match my working program, and I think they're respected the most. Yeah, 4 hour and daily are really strong. I like the 1 hour levels as well for shorter time frame trading. I don't know when I'm gonna fully buy back into Bitcoin, but I do really like that same area, that kind of 24 to 20.
I already got buy orders set from 19 to 20.
I probably should set mine because there's probably going to be a nasty wick soon. It's not a bad idea, actually. Toon said, I'm fortunate enough that the money I have in crypto is not needed to live, so I have no problem letting it sit for years while I learn to scalp. Yeah, exactly, man. That's the way to do it. Mucky said, I like to trade 4 hour to 15 minute or 1 hour to 1 day. What do you mean, like comparing the two for your levels? The 1 hour actually, for equities, the 1 hour gives you very good like early signals for the daily. Like if the 1 hour starts looking really good, the daily starts to develop.
Kind of upset that Poncho's not here.
I know it's like the first day.
I want to scream his fucking name.
He's normally he's normally on the scanner streams. He's always messaging me like if I'm not streaming. The scanner streams will be down for the time being, guys. My Trade Ideas account is being locked right now. They got audited and they're looking for people who are like professional traders and they're not. Now we'll just say that. But my account's locked for now. Gonna try to get it back soon, or I'm gonna ask him for a refund because I already paid him fucking $1,200 for the year. Got 5 minutes until the close, guys. Make sure you're buttoned up. Everyone's hating on the TradingView rebrand, their new logo. I think it's pretty good. Everyone hates change. They complained about the change in YouTube's logo, Facebook's logo, Instagram's logo, Twitter's logo, and then they don't even remember the old logos anymore. You think those companies just changed their logo out of nowhere? You're wrong. They put thousands and thousands of dollars. They're big companies. They probably put millions of dollars into it. And they run focus groups to figure out which logo makes people feel the best. And they do all kinds of fucking testing.
You don't even know, but you're fucking voting while you're sleeping.
Yep.
You're picking the logo while you're taking a dump. You don't even know.
Yep. I remember they changed the, I don't know if it was Facebook or Twitter. They changed the blue tint on their logo by like 1 or 2 shades or something. And people didn't even realize, but it's because they put like thousands of dollars into testing and they found out that that blue shade made people feel better when they were looking at the logo. I definitely think they could have probably done a better job. Their logo's not the greatest, but it does look like a modern logo. Yeah, it's a good balance, Mucky, for sure. Toon, he said, do you think the AMC and GameStop fiasco will end well for the apes? In my opinion, lots of people are going to get burned holding those stocks as they bleed. I don't think a lot of those guys are still holding. I'd hoped at this point. Usually the apes, like those guys who just fucking jump into things blindly, they don't like holding for that long. Like they get in and get out, and they go to the next thing. You know what I mean? And they're probably on to the next name. But a lot of the guys that are holding, yeah, they're gonna get burned for sure. But I'd say the bulk of them, they move on to the next fad, whatever that next big name is. G said, I kind of trained to look at the 15-minute for the ongoing price action and check the 4-hour for swing failure probability. Yeah. Yeah, you want to be if you're scalping or like looking at lower time frames, you want to look at the higher time frames for your big levels. Definitely. What's going on with Qs, John? Pulling back a little bit. Probably anticipating the Netflix earnings. We'll hang out on stream for another 5 minutes or so after market, see if the earnings come up, but I'm not going to hang out for too long. I'm not trading Netflix right now. Nah, Tune, the thing with those companies, or those kind of moves, I should say, they're very hard to get going again, right? So like once they have their big move and then they consolidate, it dies out and it loses the social media steam. It loses the I don't know what you'd say. What's the word for
The
it?
hype.
Yeah, the hype, exactly. It loses the hype. And once the hype is dead, it's very, very hard to get back. So honestly, I'm shocked that AMC kind of had a secondary move. Like AMC is doing really well. I'm kind of shocked that it went on like a massive tear again. Like you went on a massive tear, consolidated for a long time, then you went on another massive tear, and now it looks like it wants to do it again. So this is very surprising. This is not typical. Typically, when these hype companies they have a big move, and then they just die out, and they don't go back up. Kind of like how GameStop handled its move. You had that massive move, pulled back, and then you could never break that move again. Like it had some pretty big moves here, but it never broke that initial move because you couldn't get as much hype as that original move got. Does that make sense? So like it's trying to have the hype, but it just doesn't. It can't do it. So like people who are saying like, oh, GameStop to 1,000, GameStop to 2,000, right? It's going to be very, very hard to do because that initial hype is going to be very hard to break. And the initial hype took you to almost 500. That's insane. So for people calling for higher than that, it's like you don't need higher than that. That was the move. All right, there's the bell. Nasty close on SPY and Qs. Pretty healthy close though. You did want to see a pullback. Let's see if the earnings comes out pretty early on Netflix. If not, I'm just gonna call it a stream. Okay, there it is. Getting shit on already.
It's already out.
It's almost below 500 already.
Jesus.
And here comes 500. And it's below 500. Now, don't go nuts just yet. This thing could recover. We've been seeing some wild earnings moves. But not looking too good so far. What is that? It's down 6% already. But what do we always say, guys? Netflix fills every single gap. So this gap that it's making today, it's going to fill. What's disgusting about what it's doing is it refuses to test this like 512 to 520 area. It's gapped below it, came to test it, and then it gapped above it, and now we're gapping below it again. This is ridiculous. This is the third time it's gapped away from this level. So that is a major level to watch, is that kind of 510 to 520 area. Very unusual that it keeps gapping away from that area. It's trying to recover a little bit. Did they actually release their earnings, or is this a pre-earnings move? See if I can find them on Twitter. They did release. They missed their EPS by 19 cents. They beat on revenue. They beat on revenue barely. I think like 300,000. But all right, guys, I'm going to call it on that. Appreciate you guys being here. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube if you guys are new. Make sure to hit that like button on the video. I will be streaming again tomorrow, same time as always, 3 p.m. Eastern. No scanner stream. I'm still getting rugged by Trade Ideas, so we'll just be seeing you guys tomorrow at 3. The analysis will be posted later today. It's going to be a little late today, probably around 11 o'clock. Make sure you guys are reading the analysis. I gave you guys 2 lotto plays yesterday on SPY and Qs. They both almost, I think Qs easily over 200%. SPY over 100 easy, maybe over 200. I didn't check later today. So big trades there if you guys followed those. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Make sure to hit that like button. Peace out, guys.